I think that is what has been discouraging a lot of people from joining MMA as well. The pure strikers. We have some great Muay Thai guys right now. We have some good wushu players, boxers, and I think these guys can really do very well in striking MMA at the international scene.
So, Coach, before we start with the striking MMA topic, congratulations on the success that your team has been having on the international stage recently. So, how do you feel about that, first of all?
It's been great, Ranjit. Thanks a lot, and I know you guys have been doing your bit and covering all of it and getting these guys their due recognition. So yeah, it's been great. The Gamma. It's been hectic, but good because it's finally after 1.5 years we are active again. So feels good. The Gamma Asian Championship was very exciting. It was a great experience traveling during the pandemic. Leading up to it, 1 month was a nightmare just trying to get the visas. And I know you were following up with me trying to get the team list, but believe me, till the night we flew, we really didn't know whether we are going to be able to make it. It was just a nightmare. But yeah, once we got there, all was good. It was massive competition, and that got followed up by the 5th Asian Jiu-jitsu Championship, and Akshata did what she does best. She went on a rampage. I personally, I think she picked up 2 golds and a bronze, but yeah, whatever.
Happens. So coming to striking MMA, so it's a whole entirely new format that's been introduced by Gamma. So could you just introduce the viewers to the whole new format and like what it is all about?
So, Ranjit, striking MMA is like the new kid on the block, and Gamma, Gamma was talking to us about this from the previous World Championship, but we really weren't sure what is exactly going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it is a very exciting, fast-paced new discipline. I would say, I wouldn't say a new sport, but a new discipline. And so the I guess Gamma started this discipline with a couple of things in mind. One is obviously they were looking at something more fast paced and something which audience would also enjoy. So one of the things that they kind of have been working on is getting a lot of research and a lot of feedback from audience and what they like to see. Because again, I mean, we Gamma is looking at an Olympic observation status, and and one of the things that came out is that though BJJ and grappling is growing and growing in leaps and bounds, it's still not something that laymen enjoy or understand, and it becomes very technical. And even if you see, people, I mean, let's be really honest, people like to see 2 people swinging at each other and getting some big takedowns and stuff like that, rather than setting up an armbar on ground, or technically trying to outmaneuver each other on the ground. So that has been something which with that in mind, Gamma kind of formed the framework of striking MMA. From my perspective, I think it's a good new addition, because it gives a very good transition for people from striking MMA and purely stand-up grappling backgrounds like Judo into MMA. So we've seen historically that especially people who come from background like boxing, kickboxing, taekwondo, need to spend more time grappling, because again, grappling is a very vast discipline, and the techniques are so vast and stuff like that. So what happens is that they have to spend a lot of time away from their core discipline to just be able to grapple. And I think that is what has been discouraging a lot of people from joining MMA as well. And so I personally think that this is a good discipline for people from striking background to transition into MMA. So what happens is, obviously all fight starts up standing on the feet. So takedowns are allowed, but again, once you hit the ground, it's not that much about. So ground and pound is completely ruled out. You can lock in a submission while you are hitting the ground, and you get 30 seconds on the ground to complete it. If I can't complete a submission, I do get a point advantage, but it's not like I'll be allowed to carry on this. I get a point advantage. They stand us up. They'll start the fight again. So I think it's a great new sport, especially for people who are trying to transition from striking into MMA. It's a good it gives them a good feel of MMA as well. And even if you look at grapplers like wrestlers and judo players, it works a lot to their advantage. So they can really just think about their throws or takedowns without thinking about how they are going to land up on the ground. Are they going to land up giving up their back? What position they're going to land up in? Are they going to land up in guard? All these things. For a guy who's a BJJ guy, you can still fight striking MMA. They allow. I mean, you can go for your flying arm bars and flying triangles, or lock in a submission as you're being taken down. So somebody shoots a double leg, I can lock in a guillotine or lock in a kimura and then hit the ground, and I'll get about 30 seconds to finish.
So this new discipline on the format was in action at the GAMMA Asian Championship. So how was that whole experience like, and how did it work out for your team or the entire organization as a whole?
So I think GAMMA did a great job of explaining the rules. So what they did was they first put the rules out for all of us to kind of understand, and we had the opportunity of interacting with Mr. Michael Wachter, who's the chief official of GAMMA, and even before we reached the event, he was very open to talking to teams and coaches and explaining the rules and explaining the finer points. So from our individual perspective, Andrew and Susho and myself, we kind of got all our doubts clarified from him. And then we took our teams through the whole rules. And even once we reached there, there was a separate coaches seminar explaining the whole rules. And then the athletes were explaining the rules. And they had I believe I mean Andrew was a part of it, so they had a good 2-3 days of official seminar where the officials were taken through the rules, because again, yes, it was a new discipline, and obviously it was challenging, and it had its own challenges because obviously there were a lot of athletes who were kickboxers and who were MMA guys trying it. But I think overall, for the first time being held, it was brilliant. I mean, the fights were exciting. Personally, for us as an Indian contingent, Harpreet Kaur picked up a gold medal in her striking MMA match. Akshata Khartare picked up a silver medal. And I think we picked up Kekri Niatsu Angami, Longsung Kumba Ao picked up silver medals. So I think overall, the guys kind of understood and accepted the rules, and some of them were able to adapt to the rules immediately. Maybe their fighting style itself kind of was this thing with the rules, so they did very well. So I think overall it's been a very welcome rule set by the athletes as well. So I believe Team GAMMA India, we landed up with Harpreet Kaur winning the gold, and Akshata, Kekri Niatsu Angami, Longsung Kumba Ao picking up silver medals for striking MMA, and then several others picking up a bronze medal as well. Sahil Dahiya, Jokhum Dilli. So these guys picked up bronze medals.
Awesome. So one doubt that we had, like, regarding the scoring system. So you mentioned that if you land in a submission position, you get an advantage 1 point. So does takedowns and striking count as the same, in the same level in the scoring, or like is there anything different there?
So I'm going to give you my version of the scoring. And I think a great idea would be for all the listeners, and I think even you, if you're interested, Ranjit, Gamma India has organized a seminar on 25th, which is next Saturday, 11 to 1. Andrew, who's currently the only Indian to be an international level C official, he will be leading the seminar, and I think he'll be able to tell you better. But yes, from my perspective, the scoring with takedowns and strikes remain the same. It's a 10-9 round, but which means that if I hit somebody and I rock them, or I have any significant damage striking, obviously I get the 10, my opponent gets a 9. Again, even takedowns, if I land a big double leg or a big throw in terms of a belly to back or a belly to belly, that counts over little trips. So I think that way it was, once again, why it was easier to understand was because it's still a 10-9 rule set. Okay. From my perspective as a coach, the way I was explaining it to my guys is in MMA, understand when a point deduction happens, as a judge or as a fighter, obviously, your point is deducted or your opponent's point is deducted. But as a judge, you scored the fight 10-9 and you submit your score. The chief judge is who deducts the point, and then, stuff like that. So same here, what happens is when you get your opponent's point is deducted for being stuck in a legit submission for 30 seconds. It does not affect your 10-9 scoring. The scores are submitted and that point is deducted, in the final tally. So I think that kind of made it easier for even our guys to understand. Once again, I'm also still in the process of learning and understanding, but I think, on 25th, Andrew would be the best person to explain it because, he spent good 2-3 days understanding the rules, and he was also one of the most active referees and judges while, the striking MMA matches were on. So, yeah, I think, that's what, I think personally for all fighters and coaches, and everybody that's from striking background, and thinks about transitioning to MMA or is up to a new challenge, I think they should listen to Andrew on 25th, and I'm sure they'll find something that is right up their alley and works for them. Because I personally feel looking at the whole tournament itself, so we had teams from Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and they had some good boxers who did very well. And, there was a team from Palestine. They had some good kickboxers who did very well in striking MMA. I think, in India right now, we have great amount of, striking talent. And these guys can, look at this sport and evaluate it from their game. I think we can do much better next time.
That was my next question. So putting this in Indian background, so do you think we have a lot of boxers, wushu athletes, and athletes like we see in the past? So do you think this is an easier way for them to transition into MMA?
100%, Ranjit, 100%. I mean, that's what I was even talking to a couple of striking coaches, and I was telling them that I personally believe that the level of striking in India has gotten so much better. The pure strikers, we have some great Muay Thai guys right now. We have some good wushu players, boxers, and I think these guys can really do very well in striking MMA at the international scene. So striking MMA basically is here to stay. So what we are going to do is, in our upcoming nationals, which is being planned in October, Gamma India Nationals, which will also be the national team selection for the World Championship that's going to be held in December, Gamma World Championship. We are going to add the discipline of striking MMA as a separate discipline itself, because now we are privileged to take a separate team itself for striking MMA. And, I think the pure strikers that we have in our country can do very well. Not just, in the nationals, but I've seen the kind of fights that happen and the level that is there. I think we can do very well even at World Championships. if these guys show interest and transition to this.
Okay, awesome. So, Striking MMA is going to make a debut in India in October, like if I'm right, from what you said.
Yes.
Awesome. So now, before we close, we have an interesting match coming up between Demetrious Johnson and Rodtang, which is a mixed rule. It's more of an advanced form of the Striking MMA. So, what are your thoughts on that? And do you think we are going to see such matches in the future as well, in addition to the Striking MMA format?
So I'm quite looking forward to seeing that fight. I mean, one of the greatest pound for pound fighters in MMA versus probably one of the greatest Muay Thai strikers out there today. I mean, I'm a huge Rodtang fan, especially after the two John Haggerty fights. In Demetrious Johnson, obviously, I mean, how can you not like that guy? So it's going to be crazy. This reminds me of the two. If I'm not mistaken, I could completely be off right now, but I think in 2010 or 2011, Shinya Aoki had done something similar in Dream, which, where there was that whole argument about Shinya making fun of the K1 fighters. And I think Yoshihiro was the guy who had challenged him. And they had done this hybrid rules match, which was supposed to be 1 round kickboxing and 1 round MMA. A similar format, I think, to what one is introducing. And I mean, that didn't end very well for Shinya Aoki in the MMA round, which was a surprising bit. But I think it's really exciting. It's going to be fun to see. The first round being a Muay Thai round, is going to be fun to see how Demetrious handles Rodtang to get into the second round, which is the MMA round. Having said that, I'm sure Rodtang's not going to be an easy person to take down. Does so well in clinches and stuff like that. But then it's Demetrious Johnson. Never say never. So it's going to be quite an exciting fight. I mean, no favorites. I just want to watch this fight and enjoy it for what it is. I hope we do get a lot of these exhibition matches and stuff like that, because it's good. It's good. I mean, I want to say entertainment, but yeah, it's good for the sport itself. It brings a lot of Muay Thai guys to come and watch MMA. A lot of MMA guys start following Muay Thai fighters. So, that it's a good experiment. We've seen a lot of this happening in boxing right now, with celebrities getting into boxing and stuff like that and transitioning their followers over. So why not? Yeah, I think it's a great experiment. It's going to be a great, great fight.
So before we close, is there any message that you want to put out to the viewers that will be viewing this video?
So I just, once again, I would like to, reach out to the striking community in India, and, because again, like I've been saying throughout, I think there's great talent over there. And, if we can bring some of them over to striking MMA, I think we can see, not only will we see India doing very well at striking MMA, but we just might see, more strikers transitioning into MMA itself. So I think, if any one of them out there listening to me, I think it's definitely worth a shot.